Hey, what's up everybody? Elite Drafter back with a brand new video. So today I want to talk about the second part of starting your very own credit repair business. So the last time we had a pretty interesting video. We went into three main points. The first was understanding the laws, understanding why laws are important, what you need to do when it comes to credit repair, and what are some of the things that can help you basically create a pretty fantastic business out of that. The second point we discussed was value-added services. The reason why we talked about that is because as a company, when you're offering credit repair to your clients, that means that you need to offer something of more value and not just stick to credit repair as a principle, because that's pretty good. Obviously you can do fantastic with that. You can, create a lot of outcomes with just credit repair alone, but it's not enough for your customers to feel that that's, not getting them over the edge. That's not giving them the ultimate outcome that they're looking for, which is, and you guys guessed it, an additional value add. So we discussed some of the key points of those value adds, right? It could be something that you're a mortgage company, maybe. You want to help your customers get into a home. You can be basically a car company or somebody who's working with a car financing opportunities and help them get into a nice car, a decent car, with some decent type of financing. So those are some of the options that you have. So, there's a lot of different angles to adding value to your customers through credit repair. But you have to understand that credit repair is just a vehicle, right? It's just a tool that gets you from point A for your customers to point B, which is the financial outcome or the financial product outcome that you're looking to help your customers obtain. And now, we finally also discussed the concept of really taking the knowledge that you have and educating yourself. We talked about the long-term game. Credit repair is not just a short-term thing that you work on for today and then tomorrow it's gone. Your clients are done with you and they're basically saying, sayonara, we'll see you next time. The goal is you don't want to just have a client just come to you for credit repair temporarily and then just help them with that and then just say goodbye. You want to continue that journey. You want to continue that relationship that leads into something very powerful, and that's a long-term game. I like to work with my clients, so I'll give you an example. When you guys come to me and we do credit repair, and then I try to engage you with some of the other stuff that I do, and some of them may interest you, some of them may not. Sometimes you guys want to start your own thing. And I'm always encouraging individuals to do those things because it helps them, create a fantastic outcome in their lives. It could be a wealth trigger, it could be certain different other things, but you always have to have something that's extra. You cannot just stick to credit repair. It doesn't always do the job. So that's the value-added stuff that we talked about. And then we talked about education, which we're going to touch on more on this video. But more importantly, if we continue our discussion now, I think the first thing you want to talk about when it comes to credit repair business, and this is legal and compliance, so we're touching on those today. And I think what you need to worry about is understanding the differences between doing yourself as a person, right? So let's say if you get a client, you charge them, and you say, look, I'm gonna do your credit repair for you, and how much is going to be that charge? Is going to be this, right? So you charge them and then you offer them credit repair service. And then there is the one that you register your own business. And when you register your own business, what happens now is, you're basically having different types of advantages, right? Asset protection being one of them, because you want to protect yourself when it comes to credit repair. Well, if you get sued or something like that and you're dissatisfied with a client, you guys have an argument or a disagreement, and then all of a sudden, you're in a position of liability, and then they sue you, and now you're in trouble. And if you were doing it on a personal level, that means they're coming after your personal assets, and that puts you at a huge risk. So you don't want to be positioning yourself to be in that kind of risk. Then there's also the ultimate idea of having a business and a limited liability company, LLC, which creates a wedge between you and your customers. Obviously, I'm not saying that you're going to do all the bad things, but you want to protect yourself with that. And that's very critical when it comes to registration process. And next up, we have the concept of setting up a skeleton structure. Now, I'm not just talking about your skeleton structure as in your business, which is obvious, like I need to register an LLC and all that kind of stuff. But the skeleton structure comprises of so many different things in the business, right? Most of you guys are starting off, so that means you need contracts, paperwork, agreement. You need to set it up the proper way. If you're local, especially, you want to probably contact an attorney to help you with those type of things, and you can do a fantastic job with that. But just make sure that you have it. Another thing I'd like to point out is disclosures. You need to explain to your clients that, hey, not everything will work according to plan. We have to anticipate that. We don't control the credit bureaus directly or what kind of outcomes they create. It's on us to make sure that we go with realistic expectations from the beginning, and then we achieve our goals with those realistic expectations. You need to have that set up so that it's very understood, very well received from your clients, and that disclosure protects you from any type of liability that you can potentially take on. The reason I encourage you to fix these disclosures is because sometimes what happens is we're so excited about bringing a client on board that we forget the basic steps. And I think the basic step is being realistic, honest, transparent with your client on some of the steps that you're going to take, as well as the disclosures to, hey, we don't necessarily control the credit reporting agencies. Nobody does, not even LA2 Raptor. So that means that if you're going to actually deal with these guys, you need to have a disclosure ready. Always tell them, hey, our disclosure is very clear. Here's what we do. But every step that we take is going to be very progressive, which is our next point. The skeleton structure should include your progression steps. So if you analyze a client's credit report, and you should know by now how to do that, if you're starting your own business, and that means you're probably taking my course, or you're probably ready to basically hop on based on your experiences, understand how to analyze that report, bring some value to that report, and then be like, what are some of the progressive steps interim, as we're fixing the person's credit, some of the steps that we can take, small baby steps at a time. This not only helps you position yourself as an expert and authority, but also helps the client get engaged in the process. What it does is it creates a more fruitful experience for the person who you're helping, and it makes them feel good about the whole process, right? Instead of being left in the dark or not knowing what's going on. This really creates a win-win scenario for both you and your customers. And then what happens is those progressive steps are basically very powerful because they know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and they're getting great outcomes from that. So from that perspective, right, when you move down from that disclosure statement and all these type of things, the next step is we're going to talk about marketing plans, marketing strategies, and ideas, right? So as you start your credit repair business, the biggest thing obviously is you need to have something that puts credibility in your pocket, that helps the customers realize, hey, maybe you are the person that's going to help them solve their credit problems or challenges. And how do we realize that? How do we create that kind of outcome and trust for your clients? So let's discuss a little bit about that. Let's discuss about the marketing plan that you can implement. First steps first, right? You want to make sure that you have something that's concrete. So that means that could be yourself as an outcome, and we discussed that in the last video. As a testament, you want to make sure that you're creating something that the client feels great about. And from that perspective, what happens is they see that, hey, you yourself did credit repair on yourself, you got great outcomes, and then you're leading them on to the point where they can realize the results that they can obtain. You're making that visual imaging for them and demonstrating to them that this could be you. So being our own testament is very powerful. Or if you have existing clients that you helped, you have other testimonies. Now, at the end of the day, getting new clients is going to be challenging. Obviously, we know that. So I'm going to give you some strategy right now that'll help you get basically a flood of new clients. It's going to cost you your time. That's the only thing it's going to cost you in some mail, unless the clients are willing to pay that cost. But here's a strategy that I want you to really think about. Start with yourself. Get some outcome for your close family or friend and document that journey. Look at the steps, improve it, tweak it, but be sure to document it. Once you have that documented, the next thing you want to do is basically find a catalyst or a key person of influence that has your potential customers. Once you have that individual and you discuss it with them and they understand, hey, this is what you've done, engage with them and do some pro bono work. Maybe 5 to 6 clients at the beginning that they know would help them, and based on some of the financial outcomes they want to create for their clients, but help them with that as a pro bono. Maybe logistical costs they can cover, or whatever the case. But by doing so, you're basically creating a flood of testimonies. Then that could be a condition, right? It could be like, I'm going to help your customers, but I need testimony. I'm building my business, and I need your help to just simply, bring them on. You don't need to pay anything. I just want to do their work, but I need them to kind of like agree that, hey, if I do this and they get results, they're going to share that, and they're willing to put it in writing or video or voice, whatever the case. So now you're building a flood of testimonies that'll help you build your business better, and you'll already have a bulletproof marketing system done for you. So with that out of the way, our next obvious step is how to create workshops. Now, a lot of people don't do this and don't take the time to really educate their clients. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. Obviously I've had the expertise, I've been experienced, and I'm sharing the knowledge that I have. But for those who are starting off, I think that you need to consider doing workshops, an open door policy, an open discussion policy. Well, what I mean by open door, you want to charge for that workshop for your time and reserving a pretty nice area or venue. Make sure that you offer box lunches if you're doing it. That's just a concept I like to invite everybody to understand. Fix a price that's not too expensive, but at least, gets people through the door. Let them bring, them questions, reports, how their items are posted, and take that knowledge and education and share it. Record those workshops if you have to. Put it here on YouTube. Who cares? You're sharing your expertise. But workshops do help you get a list of clients. But before you start doing workshops, you obviously want to, like I said, have pro bono testimonies. Get the outcome, so at least people know what they're stepping into, and they're looking forward to hearing from yourself in terms of how you achieve those goals and outcomes for your customers. So workshops is very interesting because not only does it engage with your customers and they get to know who you are and what you do, but at the end of the day, what happens now is they walk out with a pretty good feeling about who you are. And if they want to engage with you right there and then, they have the opportunity to sign up a contract with you to say, hey, I want you to handle my credit situation. So workshops work really well. It's just you have to position it in a way that kind of helps you put it and tie it into the services that you're offering, the value add that you're offering. So that's very important. So consider some of those things that you're going to be doing. So, workshops are critical. These are some of the marketing schemes and strategies that you can achieve, great outcomes with when it comes to your clients. And I think we're going to move on to our final point. So our final point here is making sure that you have continued education. Being in the credit repair space requires constant update of information and knowledge. And I'm an advocate of my own course, obviously. And the reason I say that is because I'm always updating the material. When you sign up today, 2 years from now, you're going to have new info. So the Ultimate Personal Credit Mastery is probably a recommendation if you're starting your own credit repair business. It's not a very expensive cost. The material you're learning in there and the outcomes that you're going to create is far beyond the cost. The cost is very minimal. It's basically a grain of sand compared to the desert that you're going to create, right? But at the end of the day, don't worry about the money. Worry about the outcomes that you're going to create. Worry about the knowledge that you're going to gain. And that's the important thing here. Once you understand that, once you kind of theorize around that and what are some of the things you can do for your clients, trust me, you'll be in a better position. Not only to create a great outcome for your clients, but let them enjoy the experience and the journey, which is going to be the best thing about credit repair. So that's what it is, right? So education is a critical part. So just consider that. I think it's going to help you, reach pretty far and create a fantastic business for yourself. So those are some of the concepts that I'd like to finish off with. So I hope you understood the importance of how to do the credit repair journey properly for your clients. If you're starting a business in credit repair, remember the value adds are very critical. Educate your customers. Make sure that you're very transparent. Help them enjoy the journey and the experience to deal with you. With that said and done, I hope you enjoyed. Hey, look, if you're new here and if you haven't had the chance to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe and turn that bell icon on. So every time there's a video such as this, you'll be notified first. Some of you guys haven't subscribed yet and you've been watching me for a while. I know that. But don't worry, subscribe. Hey, there's nothing bad. We can have an open discussion policy here on this YouTube channel, and encourage you guys to subscribe and turn that bell icon on so every time there's a new video, you'll be notified as well. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share in the comments below on what are some of the first things you're going to do when it comes to starting your credit repair business. I'd like to hear from you. And from that perspective, this is your guide and mentor, Elite Rafter. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.